Smoke coils above a dawn camp on an East African plain. In the cold air, a small band warms their hands, their skin dusted with ash. A child grips a sharp flake of stone as elders scan fresh tracks in the wet grass. From such foragers came the first great walkers who left Africa to skirt coasts and cross continents. Their journey was a lesson in memory, and in that memory the seeds of settlement took root. Their steps created the first human network and the need to remember. That need found a new form in damp clay. Along the Tigris, the Euphrates, and the Nile, grain surpluses demanded rules and records. Writing turned perishable harvests into permanent law, and bureaucracy learned to coordinate strangers. Towns thickened into cities, and kings learned to count their wealth and their people. As cities swelled, a new question arose: what is the good life? In shaded courtyards across South Asia, East Asia, and the Mediterranean, voices like the Buddha, Confucius, and Socrates wrestled with that question. They examined duty, compassion, and reason, shaping the soul of empires old and new. But what moves an idea farther, a sermon or a road? Soon, the roads would carry their answers across the known world. On a stony road at dusk, soldiers shared dates with traders. The vast networks of Persian routes and Roman frontiers channeled not just goods, but languages, loyalties, and laws. Imperial seals stamped in a palace ensured taxes met troops on time, holding empires together across deserts and steppes. And beyond them, even wider corridors were opening. Caravans creaked over high mountain passes, while monsoon winds pressed on lateen sails. In the east, imperial officials mapped the corridors we call the Silk Roads, while the Indian Ocean tied distant ports together with the rhythm of seasonal winds. Buddhism traveled with merchants, finding new forms in oasis towns and island harbors. By the 7th century, a new revelation surged onto these same routes, and across harbors and caravanserais, scriptures moved beside cargo. A monk copies a gospel as a muezzin's call echoes across a harbor. As Christianity matured and Islam emerged, their faiths traveled with traders, pilgrims, and diplomats, reshaping calendars, courts, and cultures. Connection gathered speed, and conquerors would accelerate it. Hooves thunder on the winter steppe. Under the vast Mongol realm of the 13th century, a courier swaps horses without a word, part of a system that bound cities from Anatolia to China with unprecedented security and speed. But the same veins that carried wealth could also carry ruin. In the 14th century, that same network carried the Black Death, collapsing towns, draining treasuries, and sharpening questions about fate. Our modern supply chains and public health maps are echoes of those connections. When an algorithm routes a package or a pandemic, it follows patterns first laid by hoof and sail. Salt spray stitches two hemispheres into one horizon. At dawn on a Caribbean shore, a European sailor tastes the brine as indigenous traders step forward from the trees. That single meeting, multiplied 1,000,000 times, became the Columbian Exchange. It moved crops and microbes, built fortunes, and collapsed civilizations. It powered sugar fields that demanded ships filled with enslaved Africans, a brutal testament to a newly connected world. From this crucible of exchange, new ideas about reason and rights ignited the Enlightenment, and declarations of liberty moved from salons to the streets. When these new ideas met new engines, the Industrial Revolution turned coal into motion. Remember that child by the dawn fire. Their descendants now stood in the shadow of smokestacks, reading pamphlets and demanding a voice. In the centuries that followed, empires surged and then shattered. Borders hardened, and colonized peoples answered with uprisings that forged new nations. 2 world wars scarred a century. A long standoff set superpowers against each other, And today, the digital revolution binds our lives and our risks in ways previously unimaginable. Shifting power, a changing climate, and revolutionary technologies test our ability to cooperate. We stand as the inheritors of every journey, every exchange, and every conflict, tracing the fragile ties that will decide what our interdependence becomes next.